Breaking news. You have a toxic relationship with money. And if it is left unaddressed, it is going to continue to keep you stuck financially and out of the abundance zone. So I'm exposing the money lies that you are telling yourself today in this episode so you can shift them for your greatest good. If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your relationships, your abundance, and everything in between. The last thing that I want to be doing right now is recording this episode for you, and it has nothing to do with you and nothing to do with the fact that I, don't love what I get to do for a living. I have a dream situation, okay? A dream situation, though, that I set myself up for and I created. But it's important for you to hear that I still don't want to do 70% of the things that I need to do in order to fulfill my promises to you, to myself, to the people who work for me, in order for me to bring in that bag to have all the things that I have in life. My mic stand, if you're watching live on YouTube, you would notice that I'm holding this like I'm Tiffany the newscaster. Something's going on with my mic stand. It was frustrating me. I pulled it off and I figured, you know what? We're going rogue with it. Okay. So I'm holding the mic like this. I feel it's kind of a gangster move, to be honest with you. Maybe it's my new thing. It's like a solid prop. So let's talk about this first lie. And I'm living it in real time. So I knew I needed to record this episode. I have had a very emotionally challenging week. It's been a roller coaster. So if you didn't know that this happened, I mean, it's amazing. And I'm so humbled and beyond grateful. But my big once a year free 3-day live training, 3 days to make bank, went viral. I didn't know you could have a live training go viral. Yes, a piece of content, but this is like a live training people signed up for. It went viral. My signature program that's in pre-sale right now, where you get $1,000 off, you get my TikTok playbook. So how to monetize your TikTok in less than 15 minutes a day for any type of business. And you get that special bonus, and that's worth $4,500. So you get all this stuff by doing the pre-sale and signing up for Selling with Soul. We sold out in 48 hours. That's wild. So we had to have a meeting because I was like, we've got to be able to add more people. How can we do this? And that's the first example I want you to hear. Notice I didn't say, wow, we're full, we're at capacity. Amazing. Bye. Now, at my in-person events that I have, and I typically only have one a year, that is a strict maximum capacity because you'd have to get a new venue, etc. But I figured there had to be a way, which is such a powerful part of having an online business. And I asked how. I asked my team how. I asked people who I trust. I asked people who are creative, who are open-minded. It's not, oh, well, we're full and we're done. I was like, no, there are so many people that know this is their fucking year because they've fucked around, wasted enough time, told themselves enough lies. They see what's going on in the world and they know the thing that they can control, truly control in a good way, is you can control if you show up for yourself, learn a high income generating skill, and monetize the hell out of your gifts, passions, and talents online. This is growing by not like even 1 billion a year. It's going to grow to almost $150 billion industry by next year alone. This is not overly saturated. So that's a lie your brain might be telling you. That's furthest from the truth. You are in a sweet spot. I would say an 18-month sweet spot. So I wouldn't put it off longer than that, which is why I feel it's so important that I did this episode today. So we can dissect the lies that are in your mind right now that you don't even realize are fucking lies. And this is going to shooketh you to the core. Okay. Now, I didn't want to do this. So what I did is I was like, what is going to get me to show up? Just like I asked with Selling with Soul, how can we accommodate more students, but make sure the quality and the premium coaching that I'm known for and the results people get is still happens? And I brought in my protege, who I've privately coached for years, Emmy. Shout out, Emmy. And she is going to be full time in the program. So that's not even on like the sign up page. Not that I'm not enough on my own, but in order for me to be able to serve more of you crazy asses, I needed to have someone who delivers the goods for you, who has implemented my emotional based sales techniques, who knows what the hell she's doing over the course of many years of her studying my methodologies, my strategy, my technique. And so we were able to open more spots, but now those spots are almost gone. And I did a gut check and I'm not opening up anymore. So if you know that you want to be able to cash in on your business, it's either you're starting from scratch or you've done some toe dipping, you've put it out there, you have a long established business, but you want to be able to leverage the internet and digital marketing in order to get high quality leads, sales, and cash online, this is the program. Period. End of story. And this is not done in like a bro marketer way. There's a reason my techniques are called emotional based sales techniques. This is emotional based selling. It is how to sell in a way that feels good to you and other people. And it's genuine without any manipulative sales tactics. Because I'm not saying some of those don't work for some people, but I know for my people, you guys are like me and you can't do it. It makes you feel terrible. You get a rash, you end up avoiding it. And it's one of the lies you tell yourself, that you think you have to be like that in order to make a lot of money. And it's just not true. So you can swipe up Selling with Souls, details, all the testimonials, the bonuses, the sign up page, the payment plans, everything is inside the show notes. Swipe up or go to the description on YouTube, projectmewithtiffany.com/selling with soul. I would absolutely pause this episode if you are very serious about changing your money game this year, because it is going to sell out. Like, we are not that far off from it selling out after I added spots, and I don't run this program again until next year. So I could have gone along with this lie of, I had a really tough week. I don't feel that great. I'm PMSing. We've got a new moon. I could keep coming up with all sorts of things. Okay. I'm really sore. I'm kind of cunty with a K. So I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll just do it later. I'll just do it when. And I caught myself and I said, okay, what could get me to show up? It's worth at least trying. Okay. But what could at least get me to show up? And I was like, why don't I do what I did the other time and go on TikTok live? Because then I have accountability from the people on TikTok. I'm showing them the screen on YouTube so you guys can see it. There I see, to show you that I'm live. We're doing sunset podcasting. So I showed everyone the view. I made sure all the windows are open so I could hear the waves. I did take a quarter of a gummy, but that was very recent and it's a very small amount. And it said energy on the tin and I needed energy. And I thought, well, I'll hydrate and I'll do that. So here, let's go through the lies. These are, I could sit here and argue back, and not like argue in a bad way, but like I can sit there and go back and forth with the craziest of brains. Some of you guys try to test my ass. Your brains are so good at chewing and analyzing and overthinking, and you weave in and out. And it's like being in a rocking chair, going back and forth, wasting energy, like putting a groove in the floor, and you never get anywhere. But it tricks your mind into thinking that you're taking some action, that you're doing something, and all you're doing. Oh my God, my one of my friends and I, we have a great joke. He's like, it's like chewing on old gum where your jaw hurts. There's no flavor left in that damn gum. But for whatever fucking reason, so many of us keep that gum in our mouth and chew on it. And it's like killing our jaw. And it's terrible. It's like having a piece of tar in your mouth. That is what most of you do. I know because I do it. I just have things to catch myself. I know some of you are doing it about selling with soul. Should I join? I don't have time to join. What if it doesn't work? I've joined other things and I've not finished it, but I don't know what kind of business I'm starting and I don't have an offer to do yet. So I bet I can't. Wow, does it go? It goes deep. And it could be doing it about a million other things in your life. Should I quit my job? Should I start this? Should I do that? And you stay in this land of chewing on that old gum. And no wonder you're mentally fried and exhausted. And then your brain will tell you, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm mentally fried. And of course you are, because you've been chewing this old gum constantly, like for probably not even just a few weeks or months. You've been doing the shit for years. I did it for 10 years. It took me 10 years to start this podcast, ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the Business Coaching Academy. 10 years had nothing to do with money. My ass had money. And quite frankly, we can all make time for what we want to make time for. I came up with other things. I don't look like these bitches on the interwebs, right? No offense to my basic white girls who listen. I love you. But you know what? When you're a basic white girl, it's like, that's fine. You're like a California girl, right? You've got the tan with the long blonde hair. You're super skinny, that vibe. I mean, you're hot. Okay. There's a lot of that at that time. That's all I was seeing. I wasn't seeing anyone who more resembled me or who looked like an outlier. I didn't see anybody or hear anybody who had a tone of voice like mine. And by the way, I just have to say this also because we're live on TikTok right now. My video that I had another video go viral. These trolls are net. And if I hadn't have done all the work that I've done on myself and continue to do, that kind of heavy troll behavior would have had me shrunk down. And maybe I would have showed up and recorded other videos. Maybe I would have come on here and still done the podcast because I would never not follow through on a promise to you and to myself and to my team. But I wouldn't have shown up with the same Coach Tiff style energy. I would have showed up with energy of allowing some 500-pound disgusting guy living in mom's basement who doesn't even follow me, making fun of my tone of voice, keep me from me having the dream life that I have and from helping others do the same. I think hell no. And this also goes for, by the way, anybody that I know or went to school with or worked with. What's funny? Those people who talk shit about you. Can you believe what Tiffany's doing? Oh, she thinks she's a celebrity there in LA. Like it's the Tiffany show. Tiffany all the time. Tiffany, all she talks about is money. All she cares about is money, 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 money. Or she's wackadoodle that talks about the universe and manifestation. And she moved to California and lost it or whatever. Guess what? I know you're listening right now. I know you are. You know why? Because I would do the same thing. Absolutely. If I saw that someone from my fucking boarding school, yes, I got sent to boarding school. I know we're not surprised for high school or even like college that they're listening. I knew that they had a show and it was a really popular show. Of course I would listen. I would more likely support and shout them out. But if it was someone I didn't really like though, or we had a beef, I would low-key listen. That's another loop. I love my fellow Snoopaloops. I love it. So let's go through some of these lies. There's so many, and you can always DM me on Instagram or TikTok at ProjectME with Tiffany. or reply to any of our emails that we put out. Like if you're like, can you cover this lie, Tiffany? Because we can't, there's so many lies you tell yourself. Me too. Look at what I did as trying to build a whole case of why I shouldn't come on here. And I even recorded the intro to this show. I botched it. I stumbled over my words because I'm tired. And then I redid it. And then I started feeling really insecure because I'm not in my normal energy. So I'm like, oh, was that horrible? Did that sound fake? Was that stupid? But because I was live on TikTok, and I still am right now, I was able to look at them and go, just tell me if it was bad. There's something about TikTokers that are like, you serve it straight over there. There's still a lot of the glammy stuff on Instagram, but like this, they serve it straight over there. And I chose to trust them. And I was like, you know what? It's good enough. All we can do is the best we can do on any given day. And it's your job to trust that's more than enough. Can you look in the mirror at the end of the day and look yourself dead in the eye when you're washing your face or whatever, and know that I did the best I could today? And maybe that's 10%. Maybe that's 30%. Maybe that day it's 100%. There's very few days over here that are ever 90 or 100%, especially on a week where I really had someone throw me for a loop in my personal life. Wow, was it a side whacking that triggered my PTSD and all the stuff that happens with one's nervous system and brain chemicals when you go into a response like that. And I've had to manage it. I'm in the middle of this exciting, incredible launch and answering people's questions if they think that it would be a good move for them to be in the program, blah, 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 blah. Your girl had every excuse possible that would have even made sense and been understandable and sounded like self-care to other people for me to not be here right now. But that is not what gets you the freedom level cash you're looking for. Do you want this life? You really want this, where you can take a trip whenever you want and not worry about the price. You can have a beach house. You can work part-time and have money coming in around the clock. You are financially empowered, and you know that you don't need to depend on any person, place, thing, client, job, institution for money, and you're solid. It's an amazing feeling. But the catch is you've got to address things like these lies in your head, and you have to show up and find a way to show up no matter what. How I show up is I pay people and I say things and do things publicly so that I'm held accountable, because one of my core values is integrity, because I grew up in the house of lies. So it kind of makes sense that I became a TV newscaster and then a podcaster. It's like and when someone's not telling the truth, I lose it. That's why it's really dangerous for me to have encounters with narcissists. When someone tries to gaslight me, I start twitching. It's like, we're not doing this. I cannot do this anymore. So I will make sure I pay someone that I'm accountable to, right? So I have a podcast producer. I pay her. I'm accountable to her. I have other people on my team that I pay. I obviously pay my bills, people who work for me, fund my investment accounts, and all the things that I love to do off of the money I make from the show and from programs that I do, like Selling with Soul or my Make More Work Less course, my Posse membership, et cetera, et cetera. So if I don't show up for the ways that I meet you, build a relationship and rapport and trust with you, and also to have the opportunity to like share with you like what I do have to offer, and if it does make sense for you, right? Some things of mine, I would say I'd point you in a different direction. It doesn't make sense for you. But if you're wanting to make money online, doing something that you love, or at least monetize like a skill, a talent, a craft of yours, it's a no-brainer, period. And I can let all the testimonials speak for themselves. So projectmewithtiffany.com/selling with soul. It's the only time I'm running it until 2025. Okay, so here are these lies. Okay. I like this one. I'll never be rich. That'll never work out for me. I'll never be able to have blank. So why bother trying? And this defeatist attitude will prevent you from exploring possible income generating opportunities. So you screw yourself because you're speaking in absolutes. Anytime you're saying, I never, it won't, any kind of catastrophizing like that, it cuts off your creativity. It cuts off your mind from being a beacon for potential opportunities that could get you what you want. So the shift is to focus on achievable goals, right? Explore different outcomes and income streams. It would be silly not to. It's really, I mean this 1,000%. It would be silly anybody to not at least give a strong, solid effort to build community and make money leveraging digital marketing, social media, email marketing, blogs, podcasting, etc. You want proof? Go to TikTok Live and start scrolling the TikTok Lives at any time of day. And you're going to go, oh my God, there are these kids, and you guys know I'm not going to remember the name of the account. It's not on purpose. There are these kids who are in Africa. I'm talking like on the dirt, on the sandy dirt. And they dance to the most amazing music. They're so fun. And there's some older kids, but a lot of them are young. And they're making heavy coin, as they should. And they're performing, they're entertaining. And it's so cool. And they delight in it. And then when you send them a gift, you have to, in the US, you have to remember like $5 here, I'm sure is a lot there. But there's people you can send a $500 gift, and they do. And their reactions, they make me emotional. And because of the time difference, they seem to be on in the morning. So when I'm doing like my morning routine and stuff, I like having it on. First of all, I love the music, I love the dancing, but it's like, what a delight that we have this available to us right now. There's my 94-year-old lady who I love, who's famous for saying, I'm going to slay while I decay. She has more brand deals than some of the top influencers. That she has 15 million TikTok followers. I mean, I could keep going on and on. You can't tell me that you don't have an interest, whether you're a singer, you want to entertain, you're someone who's super into crocheting or something, you want to do that. You're someone who's very into nutrition and wants to help people with that. You couldn't cook dinner and go live, like that. You couldn't go and sell the things that you already do for free. Of course you can. And you have me right here to show you exactly how, step by step. And I have so many different ways to learn from me. The one you're listening to now is free, and they're at different price points. So you can't even use money as an excuse, but your brain comes up with a different excuse. Your brain will come up with, let's go to another one. Like, this one's good. I'm too this or that, right? I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too shy. I'm too scared. I'm too worried. Well, you have to look at the impact of each of these lies. First of all, you have to not trust anything your brain tells you. Anything that is in an absolute or in like a negative, meaning it's not an abundant thought. Okay. And you know the difference. None of those can be trusted for accuracy. You have to address each one of those and dissect it. Now, 85% of our thoughts are repetitive. So there's likely 3 or 4 top contenders of these lies that you say to yourself about money. So you need to take them out. We need to unpack them, and we need to inspect them and dissect them. And I guarantee you, they are not based in fact. But it's funny when we tell ourselves something long enough. I mean, I've been in relationships where I told myself long enough, oh, but they're a good person. Oh, but they don't really mean it. Well, they have some other like struggles and they've had a tough childhood. I told myself lies about that in friendships, in romantic relationships enough where look at the cost factor and the impact it had on me. I lost years of my life, so much stress, so much heartache, so much trauma, so much drama. And I started believing the shit that I told, even though right in front of my face, someone's behavior is actually telling me the opposite. I know you do this too. So I'm to this or I'm to that. The impact of this is you're missing out on the benefits and losing opportunities of just doing it now. Why don't you do the thing? And then even while you're doing it, tell yourself, I came in late to the game. I'm a little fluffy, but you're still doing it. That's what made me finally do it, was the fact that it was a 10-year marker. Like certain birthdays are a big milestone and get you to wake up, or certain times of the year. And right now we're in one of those, by the way. It's always near this like spring equinox time. I noticed what happens with people is you told yourself your New Year's intentions, your New Year's goal. I'm really going to do it this year. I'm going to go for it this year because it gives you an amazing dopamine high at the end of December. Everyone does it. I do it too. It's fun. It's festive. It gives you an excuse to be able to kind of procrastinate and put off doing things for most of the month of December. And then what happens is you either start a little bit in January, but you don't stick to it, which there's an actual date, which I was shocked by, that over 85% of people break their New Year's intentions and goals by January 12th. I was like, damn, I thought it'd be like at least like February 3rd. And so take your foot off the gas. Maybe you had your foot on the gas, I'm all in, I'm doing it. And then the foot slowly comes off because you have not been addressing these main scarcity, money noise thoughts, and they will claw your ass back in if you, by you just going to an event or reading a book or even listening to this podcast, you're like, okay, I get it. I'm not going to think that anymore. I won't do that anymore. Like, I feel abundant. And then 5 hours from now, you get an unexpected bill or something happens. And all of a sudden, we're back to thinking that same thought again, because self-will does not work when you've had a belief in a thing you've told yourself for so long. It's not going to cut it. You have to have accountability, and you've got to be able to get yourself to show up even when you're telling yourself, I look terrible, I'm fat, I'm gross, I sound like an idiot, I'm not making any sense. Look at this person I listen to, look at this person I follow, they sound so great, they look so great, who am I to be doing it? And then you have, Auntie Pissy Pants that says something to you at some gathering like, oh, is she really going to be sharing that much? I can't believe she shared her children on social media. Are you paying my bills? I don't think so. Some of you have partners that are not into this and they think making money online sounds like hocus pocus. And I get it. I wasn't buying it either. You got to listen. I can't remember. Is it the episode where I talked about how I had $1 million in the bank by the time I was 30 and then I lost it all? I think it's on that episode. I studied people. I was doing Facebook ads and stuff for corporations. So I was studying people and I saw some people. There was this one girl who, like, I think her brand was like I Heart Life Coaching or some stuff. She ran ads. Like, she was one of the early people in there. And I remember going, there's no way. Is this bitch making money? I didn't believe it either because my first business was built so differently. And I knew big corporations were starting to leveraging the power of social media. Absolutely. But like, they had big teams, they had consultants like me behind it. It was hard for me to comprehend that little old unknown Tiffany in this world who has no fame. I don't have a book that I just am going to pop on from scratch. And like, people are going to pay me for the stuff that I've learned, the mistakes that I've made, the ways that I've found out, all of my intellectual property, for my personality, for my heart, for the way I explain things, for my energy, for the groups that I curate, for products I make. It sounds pretty good, but it almost sounds too good to be true. Oh, and I could wear my same 3-day-old pajamas for the 5th day in a row, but you can wear whatever you want and take your work mostly from your phone. I mean, this shit's insane. And you can have your laptop with you. You cannot have it with you. All you need is your phone or an iPad, and you could travel anywhere in the world. There's people who live in their fucking vans. There's a girl I see here on TikTok. Her whole career, like her whole job, is going live on TikTok. That's literally how she makes all of her money. And she lives in a van. This is a small van with her dogs, and she cooks. I don't even know what the hell she talks about. And she goes live, like treats it like a full-time job. I think she said she goes live 40 hours a week. Now, that wouldn't sound fun to me, right? But that's why there's so many different options here. But if you tell yourself, I'm too this, I'm too young, I'm too old, whatever, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, you are literally shutting your brain down and putting the universe on notice and saying, don't show me any ideas or possibilities or ways or creative opportunities. Don't show them to me. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not going to hear it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So why would you get any? So you might as well make the shift. And that's like the impact, right? That's the cost factor of you continuing to believe this stuff. Or you can shift into it and go, I'm going to choose to see evidence, consciously seek evidence of the contrary of this belief I've been telling myself, because I owe it to at least have fair balance and look on both sides. Why couldn't it be me? Why can't I be 94 years old and making millions of dollars? Why can't I be someone who is a procrastinator, unorganized, mentally unwell, but very savvy and incredible at business strategy, marketing, branding, and sales, is going to talk shit, have fun doing it, create content, travel the world, and see some of the most beautiful places, be around the most beautiful people. And as someone who has no fucking family, so I don't have any of like the quintessential shit that most of these people, and I don't mean shit like in a bad way, but you know what I mean? Like the family Christmas card photo people, right? I don't have that. I am not a conventional multimillionaire. I'm not a conventional entrepreneur. I am not wired to be this. That's why I'm saying I am evidence for you. Don't tell yourself that lie. Oh, I have to do this one. I have to. I can't start a business. It's too risky, right? And your brain might say that in a different way. It's like, here's a clever, and it's clever. You guys are manipulative, okay? I am too. And guess what? We can manipulate our brains right back. And that's what you have to do. That's why I call it mind fuckery. You have to. There's no other way, unless maybe like a lobotomy. I'm being dead serious. So saying, I can't do this. I'm scared. I can't do this. I don't have the time right now. I don't have the energy right now. My kids need me right now. I will do it when. I will do it once I have enough money. I will do it next year. I will do it next month. I'll get really serious about it's all shit. It's all shit. So let's unpack your need for certainty. There's no one I know that wants certainty more than me, or a fellow trauma survivor, I should say. Of course, certainty makes us feel safe. How do you think all these jobby jobs keep you in the golden handcuffs? The companies that are really smart, they pay you just enough where you can experience a lifestyle that you really don't want to lose. Like you like it. You've got some nice shit, right? It's not like baller level, but you got some nice shit. And you wouldn't want to lose that. So your job isn't horrible, but it's also not what you really want to do, but it's tolerable. So we're settling is what's happening. We're settling because there's a belief under there. I have to kind of settle and sacrifice in order to receive. So this lie that you're telling yourself in order to maintain safety, in order to maintain certainty, it could be the lie of saying, my job's not so bad. Relationship's okay. I mean, everybody's perfect. That's one of my famous ones that I said. I've seen what's out there. So this is better than that. The stuff that you have done and do in your personal life, in relationships, with your health, I'm telling you, it's what you do in your money life. There are definite things that you do that you're holding back on, that you're settling for because you want to maintain uncertainty. And here's what's going to happen is that all that time you've been afraid and not doing it and settling for the thing, you could have been stacking cash. Imagine, I laugh out of pain. Imagine if I started, okay, so I told myself all these lies for 10 years. I even told myself the money lie, and I had about 2.2 million in the bank at the time I started thinking about, well, not the 30, but like I'd say by 2.2 by like 35 years old. Why didn't I start then? Why didn't I start then? Because of all of this. So imagine if I'd started then when there was no one doing it. I could have been like that I Heart coaching girl. And hey, if someone knows who I'm talking about, I'd love to have her on the show and thank her. Truly, I admire and acknowledge her for being one of the people who went first. Seriously, it's scary to be a pioneer. I'm not a pioneer in this. What I saw was an obvious opportunity. I had to study it to really believe it because I kind of wasn't buying it. It sounded too good to be true for like a personal brand or a small business. Absolutely. I have a whole agency that does it for corporations. I saw how that worked, but it's like, really? I had to believe it first. So, yeah, you've got to believe it's possible for you first. But some of you have these stacked lies that are coming in front of, that are burying your belief. And every once in a while, and you have to tell me if I just got you with this, every once in a while, maybe it's right before you fall asleep. Maybe when when you're watching a beautiful sunset. Maybe it's when you're in the shower. Maybe it's when you are looking at yourself in the mirror on a really good day. Maybe it's when you're a little buzzed. Maybe it's when you're a little high. Maybe it's just on a beautiful, clear day and you just worked out. And what bubbles up is, I could do this. You're meant to do something more than this. This isn't it. There's something more. There's something more. And then most of you shove that down, shove it, put it in a closet, put it in the junk drawer. Like, okay, like who am I to think that? Okay, calm down. You're only this, you're to this, you're not enough this, you're from this family, you're in this. How could you ever do that? Now you waited too long. Now you have kids and all these responsibilities and blah, 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 blah. And what are you going to do? And we lost the ability to dream. I had a little bit different childhood than a lot of people, but I did dream. I did have the ability to dream and nothing went in front of it. Everything was possible. I mean, everything when you're a kid, it's like naive. And I was being abused every day and I believed everything was possible. I wanted to be a TV newscaster and I had that vision and I had that dream starting at 13 years old and it never left me. And I believed it was possible. And therefore, I became one of the youngest TV reporters. I was 20 years old and on the air. I like had to fly back to walk in my graduation and I was working for NBC. But all the lies, I had lies come up. This will help you. I remember I was interning in Chicago at a TV station and I'm going to shout him out. Again, if anyone knows him, I would love to have him on the show. Larry Potash. He's a news anchor. Excellent. And I'm pretty sure he went to my alma mater. He went to Emerson Mafia in Boston. And he was the lead anchor on the morning TV show I interned at. And he definitely took me under his wing. I think probably one, because of the Emerson tie, if I remember correctly. And the other reason is I was humble and willing and eager to learn and appreciative. And I would do whatever. And it was undeniable when you meet a kid or someone in college or even someone who's 70 years old and they say they're going to do something. My therapist who passed away, and this was many years ago, so it's therapist number one, Janice, God rest her soul. Janice, I don't know. I think she was 66. She's like, I'm hiking Kilimanjaro. And I was like, what? And she like, I can't remember the condition she had. And I was like, oh my God. And she had to wear a backpack and she had to train. But you know what? Just from her, how she said it. And when I realized she wasn't kidding, you could tell with total conviction she's doing it. I remember it to this day. And that was a long time ago. And it's like when a little kid says it. And if they keep saying it. So I want you to allow yourself to dream. That's why stuff does come up, but only usually if you're in this perfect circumstance. You'll have some dreams come up. Maybe you took a trip recently. It was a beautiful view. It was one of those rare fucking days where everything aligns. Oh, it makes me exhale thinking about that. And that is the life I want for you guys to have, and not just once in a while. You can truly have it. I'm not going to tell you every day because life's wild, but you can have it most days. A life of true exhale. That doesn't mean the brain is going to stop going. That doesn't mean the fear goes away. It just changes. That doesn't mean all of a sudden you have magical certainty. We can't be certain of anything in life. I mean, look at the state of the world right now. We have no idea. But what we can be certain of are a few things. One, you do nothing, nothing happens. right? You choose to not do anything, not to grow your business, not to really treat it like a business, not to go for the damn thing, not to start it in the first place, not to experiment with, maybe you want to create a product. Maybe you have an e-commerce store and now you want to add digital products. Maybe you want to start a podcast. You don't have to stick with it if you're miserable. But last time I checked, you're already settling for something. You're already not really happy. So you don't have the risk of being less happy by trying something because you're already not in a great spot, right? Yeah, there's some risk. Maybe you wasted some time, some energy, some money. Money is easy to make back, right? Like, okay, well, how much time, energy, and money are you wasting by not doing the thing? Wasting it on being stressed so your health isn't great, wasting it on all the obsessing, comparing, longing, wishing, trying to figure it out, beating yourself up, being upset, the mental gymnastics, all that time you could have been stacking cash. It's unbelievable. I mean, but it happened for me when it was supposed to happen, probably so that it could be part of my story and warning to you. Don't think for a second. 2 months can't turn into a year, turn into 5, turn into 10. And that's what I was saying about why I purposely launched Selling with Soul, my signature course. Why I launched it at this time is because you've already fucked around. You know it. The season's changing is on the horizon. You're like, oh my God, it's March. What happened to January and February? And I'm still not where I want to be. And only you can be honest with yourself. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Are we going to continue to be in the toxic relationship with the money lies in our head? Or are we going to ask ourselves different questions and find out a different way? So I have another one I want to do here because I know it's going to come up. I'll win the lottery. If I won the lottery, I would do it. I'll win the lottery. That would solve my problems. Oh, once Grandma Sally dies, I'll have some extra money to be able to do it. Or once my husband retires, there's always a story. It's like, you're just kicking the can down the road. Again, I'm the warning sign. You could keep doing it if you want to, but don't lie to yourself that you're not burning time, energy, and money by not doing it, right? Good question. And you best answer this. If you knew that every day of you not going for heavily monetizing this online space, just go or going for whatever the thing is you want to go for, and you had to pay, like you were in a nice hotel, you had to pay $500 a day every time you weren't going for it. You're just having to pay it out every single day, like a swear jar, except more money. If you knew that and you had that tangible money in front of you and you had to do that every day, you put it off again, you blew it off again, you didn't go for it again, you half-assed it again, you toe dipped again, would you show up differently? What would you do? I know damn well if I had to pay a token every day of me sitting in my lies, my excuses, my fears, my what ifs, and I'm given 500, I think that would only have to happen at the most twice before it would make me do it. And I'm saying that from Tiffany today, where I have a lot of money in the bank, but I think $1,000, that's a solid amount of money. There's a lot of DoorDash that can be purchased with that, but that's what you're doing. You're burning it. And it's really even more than that. You realize that I make well over $1,000 a day. Think about that. I mean, if we had a $270,000, was it 4 days? I shared it on my Instagram stories. I share the receipts in there. So that was probably, I have to go look. It was probably a $333,000 week. Now that's not every week yet. Okay. That's my highest week. So let's take an average week, $100,000 a week, where I'm at now. Okay. How much is that a day? I don't even know the math. That's insane. So I don't want to give a number so big that you're like, oh my God, I can't even wrap my head around it. But I think you can wrap your head around $500 a day, because I know I could have. Would you show up then? And if the answer is yes, then you've got to put money on the line. That is why I say money is such a powerful energy. It's how we've been conditioned to it and around it. It's so strong that you need to use that to get yourself to show up. I have a physical product coming out, so I have money on the line because I'm not going to waste money. Now, that amount of money is different for everyone, but I'm not going to blow something off when I spend enough. That's why a lot of these companies and coaches do these low ticket memberships, because they know people won't be motivated enough to do the effort to cancel it. I don't teach that way. I would probably make a lot more money if I did. It just doesn't feel good to me. I only want people in the posse membership who genuinely want to be there. And I want you to show up. And the lowest amount I felt that you guys would show up for would be $100 a month. I feel that it would motivate you to show up. But for some of you, that's not enough. And you need to do something at a higher level and a stretch point where it's noticeable. And you would be an asshole to not show up. This is you betting on yourself. So I want you to visualize that. Maybe you actually take some cash out of the bank, or even if I don't want you using Monopoly money, because you'll know that's fake money, but you can buy really cheap on Amazon. Like, I love using prop money, something that looks like real money. That'd be a great exercise. And you're like, just paying, you guys, you're just stacking the cash. Here's my toll for today. Another day I didn't show up for myself. Another day I stayed in this shit relationship. Another day I didn't set the boundary. Another day I didn't join Tiffany's program and actually learn exactly how to do it. So I can't make the excuse of I don't know where to start. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Nothing I'm doing is working. We fix all of that in there. Another day that I don't post content, record a video, $500, $500. And I want you to see it. The swear jar concept. I think it's genius. And put it somewhere where everyone can see it in your house. Put it next to your bedside table. And you don't have to tell anyone what you're doing. I tell a lot of people who come to me what happens when you put the money down, and you don't have to tell anyone. What I was saying to them is, if you don't feel the people in your life, even if it's someone you're married to, even if it's someone you procreated, if you don't believe they are going to be 100% get it and on board, and there's any risk of them doing low grade comments, they'll project their own money fears on you. You do not say what this goal is. You do not say it. All you need to say to the people around you is, I'm going for a dream of mine. I'm working on something. And when I'm ready to talk about it, I'll let you know. And if you want to let them in on the whole idea of this swear jar concept, and every time I don't show up or I make an excuse or I don't follow through with said goal, I got to pay the token. It's $500. Now, I have clients, they're going to go get real money. They fucking loved this shit. They ate this shit up. They're going to go get hard ass cash out of the bank and do this. And I'm not against that. I'm being serious. Maybe you need to feel that texture, and you could even go further. And if you do have someone in your life that really, really, truly is that supportive, you could have them take that money like a swear jar. Maybe you need to put it in a giant jar. Maybe you need to go get a piggy bank. And then every day you don't show up, well, there you go. There's your damn money to learn how to do the damn thing. There's your damn money to hire someone to help show you blank, to help keep you accountable, me, whatever. And so the lie you might tell yourself, like, I can't pull this off. I'm not this or that. I'm not enough of this. It's like, no, you're the perfect recipe. That's what makes it fascinating, is that you're not basic. And maybe you are so basic. You're one of my basic bitches. You're so basic, you make fun of being basic. Like, you really own who you are. There's a reason you have people, at least some people, who are friends with you. You forget all the amazing gifts you have to bring to the world simply for being you. And we get to make money for being ourselves. We actually make more money. Do you think I would ever have a corporate position where I'm making, without a doubt, bare bones, $100,000 a week? Do you really think that is possible? So I had to be willing to take a risk and do something scary in order to be able to create the wealth and the abundance I deserved. And did I know it was going to work out? No. But I also knew if I stayed where I was at, there was no chance in me getting there. Absolutely none. So this win the lottery thing kills me. Relying on luck rather than proactive planning and action is you're leaving it to total chance. You are not stacking the odds. The odds are shit. You're betting your life on that. I would bet it'd be better to bet your life on being struck by lightning. Literally. You can Google that shit. Why would you bet your life for something where the odds are like, that doesn't mean it can't happen, but they are so far off. Wouldn't you rather do things that stack the odds in your favor versus giving your life away? It's just a form of telling yourself some shit that temporarily eases you and satisfies you and pacifies you and gives you an excuse to not do it. Instead, focus on the things that you can do to build and learn a high income generating skill, like the stuff I teach in Selling with Soul. You're getting the theme here. Spend the money and the time and the focus and the mental bandwidth on going, what are things I'm good at? What are things I really enjoy? What's some of the stuff that I've been through that I enjoy helping people through? Who am I the go-to person for? And then building a personal brand around that. Or you have a product on your mind, sell the products, have an e-commerce store, sell other people's affiliate products. I don't care, but do something. You've got to do something. You're going to get eaten up and it's not going to end well. And then you're going to go. I've never had one client say to me, I wish I started later with you. I wish I held off on working with you. Never have I heard that in any of my programs ever, regardless of how much people spend. Never. Regardless if someone had to use PayPal credit to pay for my program, had to use multiple credit cards, had to borrow money, had to take another job. I have clients who do that. Those are my real savages. They find a way, which is what my ass would have done. I used credit cards, but if that didn't cut it, I would have been walking dogs. I would have been house sitting. There ain't no shame in my game. I'd probably try to get a cash job, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I would have done that. I was close to needing to do that, but I didn't have to. It's a choice if you do any of the stuff I talked about on this episode on addressing those lies and looking at the impact. What is the cost factor here from you not doing anything about this lie, from continuing to believe the lie? What is this costing you? That neutral zone is what's making you tired and costing you more than anything in your life. And on my watch and in my company and in my programs and in my circle, we don't allow each other to do that. I don't allow my friends to do that. They don't allow me to do it. I don't allow anyone on my team to do it. I encourage all of them to go after all of their own dreams, and I'm right there supporting them. And not one of them could say that I don't do that. I want that for you, but I can't make you get out of and unpack and be willing to do the work and take the contrary action to address these lies. You owe it to yourself to believe something different. And you believe something different, there is no doubt that your bank account will change faster than you even imagined in mind-blowing ways. It's right here for you. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. Remember, Selling with Soul, class of 2024 is almost sold out, and we're only at the pre-sale. And the pre-sale ends this week. So make sure you go to projectmewithtiffany.com/selling with soul. It's in the description on YouTube here. It's also inside of the show notes. Do not wait. I can't add any more people. This is it. Even though my ass loves money, but I also like happy, engaged students. So I've had to put a cap on it and we're about to reach it. So go there now. I'd be excited to coach you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.